Hello and welcome. It is Gauntlet of Greatness time. I'm Randy Buehler, joined once again by Shadow Vitella. How's it going, Shadow?
It's going well.
We are, we're getting there. We've actually, in our bracket, if you've been following along, we're playing out the best 24 decks of Modern right now. What are the best 24 decks in Modern? And we're actually closing in on our final 8. You can see from the bracket that it's only the lower left quadrant, only the Legends bracket where we have not boiled it down to the regional finalists. And what we've got queued up now is Affinity against Living End. And then we'll also be recording later today, Soul Sisters versus Infect. So those are your matchups for this week. Affinity versus Living End should be a pretty good one. Waiting for the winners of these matches, sitting in the Elite Eight are Tron, Lonepox, Burn, Amulet Bloom, Abzan, and basically Wilted Abzan. So that's the setup. The match we've got today, Affinity against Living End. And you can take a look at this Living End deck. It's pretty straightforward. The basic idea is that you've got a bunch of Cascade spells. You've got Violent Outburst. You've got, let me sort the Spike Converted Mana Cost. Your Cascade spells, Violent Outburst and Demonic Dread, well, you know what? They go get something that costs less than 3. The only thing in the deck that costs less than 3 are the 4 copies of Living End, which cost 0, but hey, the whole no mana cost, you have to suspend them thing, yeah, Cascade beats that. So you get to cast Living End as every time you cast one of these 7 Cascade spells. The rest of the deck is just ways to get stuff into the graveyard, whether it's Fulminator Mage blowing up the lands, or mostly cycling cards. Cycling for 1 mana, cycling for 1 mana, cycling for 2 life, cycling to go get lands. You just cycle, fill up your graveyard with stuff, cast a Cascade spell, kill whatever the opponent has been up to, and then drop all of your stuff into play. So that's the plan. I mean, the deck it's pretty linear. It basically only does the one thing, but it does do that one thing very well. Now, see this one sorted by color. Well, yeah, there's like, there's that 9 colored spells in this deck. Affinity is the Artifact Menace. As long as Modern's been around, it's been great. Arcbound Ravager rewards you for having a deck full of artifacts. Cranial Plating rewards you for having a deck full of artifacts. And you still call it Affinity, even though there's really not that many Affinity spells. This deck does have 2 Affinity spells, a couple of Thought Casts. But I mean, the deck started out based around the Affinity mechanic, but even banning the artifact lands has not driven this deck out of Modern. You've still got fast mana with Mox Opals and Springleaf Drums. You just dump your hand as quickly as possible and then deal 20. It is a very mathy deck, figuring out with Ravagers and Vault Scourges and Signal Pass what's the most efficient way to deal exactly 20 damage. Now, people can show up and beat you, right? If somebody dedicates their sideboard to beating Affinity, they can. But there's, 23 other decks in this field, so you can't devote your entire sideboard to just beating Affinity. And it's one of these, gets to this weird metagame spot where it's good when people don't think it's good. If everybody's expecting it, then they can beat it, but we'll see what happens. The particular list I'm using here comes from Hall of Famer Frank Karsten. And that's why he loves the random numbers. He'll just, crunch the numbers from events and conclude that the optimal number of Galvanic Blasts, or at least the average number of Galvanic Blasts in winning Affinity decks, is 1. So, 1 Galvanic Blast, 2 Thought Casts. His decks are always kind of bizarre that way. So let's do it. I'm going to play the Affinity side of the matchup. Ooh, I won the die roll. That is good for me. I am going to put Shadow on mute and we'll talk to him a little more after the match. Good luck.
No. if I'm on mute, then that's bad. This is the wrong deck.
Oh no! Remake! So you need a new match.
Yeah, we need a new match.
Alright. My hand's so insane. My hand's... Should I just give the whole speech again?
It's either that or give it to your buddy in parts and let him...
I'm sure he can make that cut.
He can make the cut, so then we can just...
So we just need the deck. Oh, and except that I have to submit and then try again because you can't concede a match. Why would anyone want to concede a match?
Why would anyone want to concede a match? Okay.
All right. I am once again hosting
Okay.
Good luck. All right, here we go. What does this hand do? This hand doesn't do anything. This is like 5 lands, a jar, and a signal pest. I can't keep that. Hand goes nowhere. All right, this one's not. Yeah. I guess this is better. I mean, I'm going to get an Etch Champion. It's not fast, but it's a keeper. This matchup's kind of interesting in that if I have Arcbound Ravager, then I can essentially kill all of my creatures in response to a living death. So we're in this weird spot where my Arcbound Ravager... Oh, there. Speak of the devil. Thank you, Arcbound Ravager. His ability to just eat my entire board makes living death a lot less powerful. So that's definitely good for me. So I can play Ornithopter, and then what? I can only get to 1 mana, but I can get out this Springleaf Drum. So next turn, what? I have 1, 2 mana. I have 3 mana, but not all at the same time. I have 3 mana if I summon the Ravager, which there's no reason not to. It's interesting. It might actually be mildly better to summon the Steel Overseer first in order to have this guy lose Summoning Sickness and start piling up the counters on my stuff. But against Living End, that sounds wrong. Like, the threat of him casting Living End, I think means I want the Ravager out first. Did that solve my problem? It did. Now I have 4 mana. I can do both. Even better. Take that creature. Tap that creature. Here is Arcbound Ravager. Alright, now Living End is still not exactly good for me, but it's no longer Wrath of God. Ooh, Dismember. Interesting. So he wants to force me to get Ravager into the graveyard. I mean, which, okay, fair enough. The question is, do I send anything with it? Like, if he untaps and plays Living End, that's kind of annoying. But I also need to put enough pressure on him that if he doesn't untap and play Living End, that we play on. I don't know that, okay, this second Springleaf Drum isn't doing much. I mean, right now I'm going to put counters on Ornithopter. I do kind of want the ability to play an Etch Champion, I guess. It's a tricky spot. Can't get the counters onto a Blink Moth Nexus because I don't have any mana. Dismember is pretty good here. I think what I'm going to do is eat 1 of the Springleaf Drums, because I'll still have 3 mana. And then after this resolves, I'm going to have the Ravager eat itself so that I can trigger its Leaves playability, so that I can put the counters onto the Ornithopter. Yeah, now he's in the graveyard. Living End here is pretty good. I get only the Ravager back, which is enough to let me cast Etch Champion, so I sort of get to play. But he's going to get, what, 4 creatures back? Alright. Oh, he doesn't have a 3rd land. Interesting. Alright, and Opal means I can play Etch Champion without even needing to use Springleaf Drum. Yeah, Nexus. I guess there's some value in activating the Nexus to get this +1/+1 counter, but man, it doesn't really work out that well for that. Is it 9? So if he misses land 1 more turn, I just kill him. Yeah. He hit the 3rd land. Does he have the living end? Basically has to have living end here. I just attack him and force him to have it, right? Interesting. So he's at 9. I only have it if I activate the Nexus. Steel Overseer can make these guys into 4-power guys. I don't really want to lose my... How bad is it to lose the Blink Moth next? Because if he does have it, he can do it at instant speed, right? I attack, and then he instant speed gets to play his Cascade spell. So if he doesn't have a Cascade spell, then he basically has to draw one next turn. Interesting. Yeah, it all just comes down to, is this Blink Moth Nexus important to my plans? Can I recover from a living end? The fact that I have an Arcbound Ravager in my yard makes me feel like there's some value in slow rolling it here. Yeah, I feel like if he doesn't have the ability to living end at instant speed right now, I'm so likely to win next turn that I don't really want to risk my Blink Moth Nexus. I don't think he can afford to go to 1. Yeah, there's no way he can afford to go to 1. Oh, he's cycling. He's going to go to 1. I mean, that means even if he living ends in the future... Oh, Spirit Guide. Spirit Guide gives him the mana to living end for yet another one. He gets to take care of it. Okay. I kind of knew this might happen. I have done what I can. I have Ravager and Nexus, so the Ravager can eat 2 artifacts, can turn Blink Moth into a 4/4 right now. 1 more artifact and the Blink Moth is a 2-turn clock. He gets to attack first though. This is actually kind of bad. Ah, the Dismember Ravager. It's pretty annoying. And then, yeah, I mean, he did have to top deck a land on that crucial turn. Although, no, if he had the Spirit Guide, he probably had it anyway. Yeah, I can't. So I can make Ravager 3/3. In theory, I can eat Nexus to make it a 4/4 and actually kill the Architects. He's attacking me for 3, 6, 9, 17. Is there anything I can top deck? I can top deck a Galvanic Blast to deal 1 less than what I need. Yeah, whatever. It's a 2-turn clock either way. I can't get there by blocking. I think he might have me. Fulminator Mage can eat my Nexus. Yeah, a Ravager Nexus. Nope, not going to get the job done. Wow. Good game. Yeah, he had the Dismember, and he had the Living Death, and he had the graveyard full of stuff, and it's going to work. Tormod's Crypt seems good against a graveyard full of stuff. Its Champion seems not so good. Do any of these other cards do anything? I'm not going to Thought Seize him. Wood Flare's not going to do anything. Can make his search not trigger, but Blood Moon? How soft is he to Blood Moon? It's an interesting question, actually. How soft is he to Blood Moon? He has 1 forest and 1 swamp. So pretty soft. Red mana doesn't do very much. Yeah, maybe we run the Blood Moon. What do I not want? I mean, I like all my stuff that lets me come out of the gates real quick. I like Welding Jar. Thoughtcast certainly becomes harder if I Blood Moon him. Still have the Opals in the island, but... And I obviously control the order in which I do things. Yeah, I'm not sure this is a Thoughtcast matchup. He's not really blowing up my stuff. He either pulls off his combo or he doesn't. I think Blood Moon is more likely to win me a game than a single Thoughtcast. Alright. Definitely want to play first. Alright. This hand is... I don't have a creature for my Springleaf Drum. I can go Nexus, Drum, Opal, but the Opal's not turned on. So what happens the next turn? Then the next turn, I can go Drum, which turns on the Opal. I'll have Opal, Drum, Drum. So Thoughtcast cannot be cast without sacrificing the Opal, which isn't a catastrophe. But so then I use the Opal as a pedal. I wind up with turn 2 Thoughtcast into turn 3 Master of Ethereum. I have no Ravager in sight. Nah, I can do better than that. That's got to be below average. Well, I'm pretty sure I get this hand is better because that card seems great. And yeah, it's Drum into Pest, turn 2 Ravager, keep. Alright. Ink Moth. I don't have a 0. I don't have a 0-mana creature. So I guess I go Signal Pest. Or Drum is going to be free next turn. Yeah, Signal Pest attacks for 0 next turn, so I may as well play the Drum, and then I can use the Pest for Signal Drum mana. I'm going to slow roll the Tormod's Crypt because I'm hoping that he'll cycle up a full graveyard of stuff, and then I can eat them all with the Crypt. Whereas I know he's got the ability to destroy artifacts. He's got Ingot Chewer in particular. Now, am I playing around? No, I'm just casting Ornithopter. I guess with Spirit Guide, he can actually... He living ends next turn, I just get all my guys back. I don't think I'm worried about a living end yet. I'm going to wait one more turn on Tormod's Crypt. Yeah, he's not even cycling. Ingot Chewer. What is he targeting? Oh, we don't know yet. I assume he's going to go for the Ravager. Which makes sense. I don't think I want to eat anything as response, right? Yeah, he wants to get the Ravager in the graveyard so it can't take everything else down with it as a response to a living end. I mean, has the Drum outlived its usefulness? It is my only colored mana right now. It's also my 3rd mana. Yeah, I don't think I want to turn anything into a +1/+1 counter here. Ravager is going to turn my Ornithopter into a 1/3. Okay. Great, Opal. Now I feel like I should have eaten the Drum. Alright, I want to get Tormod's Crypt down before Living End gets too good. I'm going to want to play the... If I play the Opal... How much do I care about infect damage? Not that much value in slow rolling it. Hilariously, I may actually be better off going for infect here, right? Sure. Let's deal 4 infect damage to Too bad I didn't have a spare mana to drop the Ravager counter onto a Nexus. 4 poison. Here go. No third land again? No third land again. Ooh, Blood Moon. I think with no third land, I have much more interest in turning my lands into these little flying infectors. Yeah, we're gonna keep doing this. I mean, this plan doesn't lose to the living. Well, it loses to instant speed living end. Oh, he's got instant speed living end. Shoot. I assume I have to Tormod. Do I Tormod's Crypt away just to the Ingot Chewer? So I keep my Ravager. Interesting. Maybe I should have only attacked with 1 Nexus here. Because then next turn I'm threatening 4 if he stays untapped. Forgot about the Simian Spirit Guide. I basically, walked into this. He can't... Yeah. He couldn't have scripted my turn better, given what he had. Ah, the stupid Spirit Guide, though. I didn't think this was going to happen to me right here. It's pretty devastating. Yeah. I mean, he got nothing out of it. It's basically just a giant Wrath of God. Basic Swamp. Boo. Funny. So I can't cast Blood Moon because I only have 2 mana. I can attack with Ravager and then eat the Springleaf Drum. I have to eat 2 artifacts to beat up Fulminator Mage? No thanks. I don't think that's worth it here yet. I might actually want to cast spells. Yeah, basically, all Blood Moon does now is turn him off access to green. I mean, what with the basic Swamp? Oh, and then now Forest Cycling. If he gets the basic Forest, like he should, then my Blood Moon does nothing. This actually is a game where Thoughtcast would have been better, huh? Oh, we got Overgrown too. Okay. Huh. Well, I'm definitely playing it. The question is whether I want to cast the Blood Moon with the basic Swamp over there. Yeah, this garbage would be just better as a Thoughtcast this game for sure. Just didn't, yeah. I was able to sort of neuter his living end so that it wasn't a catastrophe for me. Now I need to rebuild. The fact that that's a Fulminator Mage, he's probably going to kill this Nexus as a response. Yeah, I don't think Blood Moon does enough. I guess there's value in making him not able to hardcast things. Four cards in his hand. Yeah. I mean, he should have been able to do this anyway, because he should have gotten a basic Forest. But I also think I'm done letting him do these things to me. It looks super scary. It's not actually a catastrophe here for him. And I still can't really attack. I mean, I'm going to have to fly over, but flying over for 19 is going to be hard. Yeah. Although I do think I can just eat the Fulminator Mage here. So I'm at the point where I'm willing to start eating these things. Definitely willing to eat the drum. I think the Memnite. Using with 2 mana and a flyer. Kill that. He's got a 3/4. Oh, a thought cast. Hilariously, I'm 1 short of casting it because I just ate 2 artifacts. Alright, we'll get there. Wow, do I play defense? I mean, I can actually eat the Ornithopter and have a 4/4. Although, I don't really want to do that while I'm holding a thought cast. This is not an artifact land. I can't turn it into an artifact land. So, yeah, I think I try racing for a turn. As soon as I draw an artifact, I can thought cast. Oh god, I can't do math. I have thought cast. Oh, I'm an idiot. 3 artifacts, blue and 1. I'm already there. And that was just skipped my turn for no good reason. I described this as a mathy deck, but that math wasn't all that hard that turn. God, I wish I was playing Cranial Plating here. Probably just do play Cranial Plating here. Yeah, I can take 3. Ingot Chewer? What do I do? Ingot Chewer's annoying. Yeah, Ingot Chewer, what are you going to target? I mean, Ravager and Plating aren't super good best of friends anyway. Yeah, fine. So I'll eat the Plating. Oh, he's hard casting it though. 3/3s are big. Alright. So he's at 13. He now has a 3/3 on the ground. Huh. 4 artifacts, so I can thought cast here. Ooh. Placement Ravager and a Plating. So if he's going to block with Ingot Chewer, then I'm doing great in the race, and I don't need to commit my Ravager. I could also just pile some counters on top of Ornithopter. 4. I'd have to eat I can't actually get it to 7, and I have Plating in my hand, so I think the play is just see if he wants to block. Yeah, I don't think he should want to block. And now I have the ability to block and eat. So 4, 5, 6. I can easily deal 8 next turn. I'm going to be 1 short. Land will be lethal. It's attacking me for 6. I mean, I can block. Then I lose the ability to have a flyer. So I feel like blocking once is better. Or I can block with Ornithopter and turn Ornithopter into a giant beating of a guy. That sounds pretty good. I kind of like having the Med-9, especially when I have a replacement Ravager and a plating in my hand, so I'm just going to have the Ravager eat itself. I'm going to turn the Ornithopter into a 4/6. Eat Deadshot Minotaur. And that should be good. And if he's going to Living End again right now, that's kind of annoying. Oh, he's at the Summon Simian Spirit Guide stage of the festivities. That's fine with me. So I cannot activate the plating, which means I just fly over for 4. Replay a Ravager. Yeah, couldn't get to 9. It's close. Does he have it? He would have done this as a response to the Ravager, even if I played Ravager, so. Didn't see a whole lot of point in playing a Ravager preemptively out of fear of Demonic Dread. Kind of a cool game. Is he debating? I mean, I definitely get some stuff back. I'm not attacking for lethal. I'm putting him at 5. This is game 2. Living End up a game. Yeah, he is going to go for it. That makes sense. I think he's right to do that. And I can't do anything about it. Minotaur actually gets to eat my Ornithopter. It's depressing. Alright. Out of combat. Play Springleaf Drum. And Ravager. So if I can survive this turn, I can attack with a Lethal Flyer next turn, right? Signal Pest can become 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can get him to 6 via Ravager. Am I actually short? If I just play Cranial Plating is for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, 7. Cranial Plating is for 7. So that's not good enough. I can activate the Cranial Plating next turn, which is exciting. Meanwhile, of course, I have to stay alive. So I'm at 8. I will assume, so I can take 3, 6, 7. I'm obliged. Wait, 3, 6, 7, 8. I'm obliged to block 3 creatures, although the Fulminator Mage is not that hard to eat. If I'm blocking 3 creatures, how am I winning? So everybody has to block. Yeah, 4, 8. So close in so many different ways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can get 6 +1/+1 counters onto the Signal Pest. You can probably get more onto Ravagers. And if I turn these Ravagers into giant blockers, that has some value. 3, 4, 5. I can get to 7. I can get to 7. The Ravagers to 7 power. Yeah, I guess I have to keep the Ravagers alive and be blocking. Alright, fair enough. I am obliged to block 3 creatures. So this Mem Knight's going to get eaten. So that's a 3/3, which can easily block Fulminator Mage. If this Ravager eats Drum, it's a 2/2. I gotta get it to 4/4. Yeah, I think I just eat things with Ravagers. Okay, I've chosen blockers. I died in the Cascade spell! Is that true? Or what the hell? If he... So he's gonna hit Living End unless they're in his hand. What the hell are you cascading into? I can react to the Cascade spell. I mean, his 7 unblocked power worth of creatures would turn into 9, except that Living End's going to resolve. Except the Living End's not going to resolve because he clearly knows where they are. No Living End. He just Violent Outbursted for value. That's nuts. It's kind of awesome. Yeah, can't do anything about the Violent Outburst for value. Spectacular. Unbelievable. What a cool game. That, Shadow, was spectacular. The Violent Outburst for value? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Like, oh, that's great, but it's going to hit a Living End. He must know where the Living Ends are somehow.
Well, I mean, Cascade says May, right? But I only have 2 Living Ends in the deck, so I took 2 out when boarding.
Hilarious.
That's not how I expected that game to go.
That's awesome. Yeah. Good game.
Yeah, good game.
I didn't expect that to go either. So Affinity's dead. That's what we've learned. Here we are. Let's get back to the bracket we're actually in. Living End crushes Affinity unceremoniously. That's not quite what I was expecting to have happen there. I even had the Ravager, but you kept being able to kill my Ravagers, and then you just kind of had what you needed to win the matchup.
Yeah, like ultimately drawing the 1 forest was really lucky. I should have pulled it out earlier. I didn't look at your...
You could have cycled for it.
Yeah, I didn't look at your...
Multi-land.
Yeah, I didn't look at your sideboard, so I didn't realize that you had that in there. Yeah.
But yeah, it's there.
Okay.
Anyway, good matches. Affinity through to the Elite 8. I'm sorry, Affinity out of the Elite 8. Living End through to the Elite 8. Good times.
Good times.